Well, about 3 months ago, Katy called me and asked me if I would be willing to do the legacy boards. That's a segment that she wanted to focus on to enhance the weekend and give the ladies a chance to think about what they want to leave behind. If you were to write an epitaph tomorrow, what would that say? What kind of core values do you want to pass to your children, to your grandchildren? What goals and dreams? Much like a vision board, legacy boards are very similar in that you're building that want list for your life, and it helps to bring about purpose. It ties the current part of your life now with the parts that you won't be here to see, but you can trust that with Heavenly Father, that can happen, and your children and your family and your grandchildren can enjoy who you were and who you want them to be. So I started the process and thinking about what I wanted that to look like for them, and giving them options. So I brought different types of magazine articles and actual magazines. They could cut them out. They could show pictures of their family. They could bring out areas of their life, like they wanted, horseback riding someday, or in their life now, whatever was important to them. They could use that today and put those pictures in place. They could use stickers and marker pens, and just be creative. And I really believe that everybody's born creative. It's just, if you don't nurture it, you'll lose it, or you'll just pick another career path. So this was fun for me to see my talents that I was born with be able to be shared with these ladies and guide them in this process, and really see them come to light with their goals and dreams. And I was kind of listening to the room today, and it was fun to hear the feedback. This is really fun. This is relaxing. This is freeing, was another term that I heard. I just was really encouraged by that. There's a blessing that comes with opening your talents and using them for the good of the whole. And I felt that that was really evident today, as they took lots of time and effort to put it into these, and we displayed them on the floor so everybody could take a look at them, and walked around and just viewed the different similarities and differences among the women, all because they were able to express, things like their core values, their important goals in their life. Some of them struggled at first maybe with how to start, what that looked like to them, and that's okay, because that's a process. They're working through that, and I think this actually helped them achieve that too. It gave them some people work more visually, and I think that's important to realize that we don't have to write things in journal all the time. We can also just be creative in cutting out visible, tangible pieces that represent our goals, and I think that's what we saw today.
Great. Why is it important for women to come to a retreat like this? When will they ever get the opportunity to have the time to do a legacy board? Right. So talk about the time, the setting, the importance of just carving out a weekend just to focus.
Yeah, that's exactly right, Tim. I talked to many women this weekend that have felt that way. A lot of them come from different walks of life. Some are executive level women that their careers are already in a driving, force right now. They're at the top of their game, some of these ladies. And it's nice for them to have a break and be able to use something like the legacy board example to just decompose and relax, take a breather and rest, knowing that they can break away from their busy lifestyles and just carve out that personal time to reflect, to plan. Every step of their life doesn't have to be structured, but it can be meaningful when you take the time to evaluate and use something like the Legacy Board project to do that. I also think that women that are feeling like most of their life career may be over, maybe they're coming into retirement, they benefited from this new, what am I going to do with the rest of my life feeling, A lot of women talked about that, and it was good to see them express travel maybe on their board, giving them a chance to come to a place like Chico Hot Springs and just enjoy the beauty, let the nature of this place affect them. There was a nature walk this morning, for instance. There was yoga this morning. So they could really choose activities along with something like the Legacy Board today to just help them, again, physically put together a plan for their futures.
Yeah. So tell me about Katy. With Lisa, she touched on how Katy works and how she opens up and she's vulnerable and she helps let some of the women put their guards down too.
Yes.
If Katy can be vulnerable, then I can too. And
sure.
So she kind of sets the tone for the whole event.
Right.
But you have a good relationship. You've known her for many years.
I have, yeah.
So like, tell me about Katy. Like, why is an event led by her different than other events?
Yeah. I've known Katy for 8 years, and part of my experience with her is that she is genuine. She comes from a place of the heart, and she speaks from wisdom from her own examples, and I think that touches women more than anything. I have heard her tell stories about her experience. She wrote a book, Unmasked. That, to me, with her hands-on willingness to not only dive into the book, but to divulge her personal life, that takes courage. And I think that translates to women. Women want the truth these days. It's already hard enough to be in a man's world and experience what that's like to make your mark as a female. And Katy comes alongside these women and says, hey, anybody can do it. If I can do it, and she's that vulnerable, if I can do it, you can do it. And that's something that women of all ages benefit from. There are many, many masks in this world that we can put on. Sometimes I find myself taking one off and another one slips in there. I think that's the nature of change too. As the culture changes, as we change to accommodate that, insecurities can rise up that we didn't realize we had. New insecurities can come on, or new challenges. And so her being vulnerable and just being willing to talk it out, she has an energy that is amazing. When the women were introducing themselves on night one, you could feel the warmth in the room. When Katy Huff puts her arm around a woman, they're best friends. It's that connectivity that she has that's amazing. I saw it at the Reawaken tour in Post Falls a couple of months back. These women were drawn to the booth. Yes, it helps that she's a beautiful blonde with lots of hair. And she draws attention, but she never uses that for personal growth or personal attention, for personal gain. She uses that for the good of the whole.
Great. What are some of the things that you've experienced in this particular event so far?
I think I have a unique position in this event. I've picked up some really great, we call it nuggets, because I'm kind of behind the scenes as well. I'm her event planner. And from that perspective, I have the freedom to kind of move around the room, much like a videographer would. I find that I'm observant more. I'm usually a talker, and so this gave me an opportunity to just be more introspective and watch other women. What I've seen is, for me, the peace that I needed, that I was struggling with before I arrived. How am I going to make that a priority when I'm actually working an event, right? And I managed to do that several times. Having it in Chico Hot Springs is really helpful as well. But just because of the caliber of women that show up to these events, their vulnerability, their openness, their wanting to share, it's women with women. We do talking best. So I was able to observe that and just glean these great, bits of information from the other women. So that gave me the peace, the confidence to share my portion that I was asked to help with, and just feeling a new sense of accomplishment with that. And I'm looking forward to taking that back to my daily life. My husband always loves when I come back from these. I was here in 2018 as well. And he's just, his last statement out the door tonight, or this week, was, I want you to learn what you can and bring it back and share it.
since you're observing, what are some of the things that you've seen in some of the women?
I have seen quiet women begin to feel comfortable enough to share a personal piece of their history, to answer questions and to probe into topics that might be a little bit tender, would be a word I would use, and watch them blossom from that. Watch them, the head nods, just the feeling of camaraderie. Yes, I feel that way. Oh yeah, me too. That ease of coming out of and meeting strangers, coming out of your shell with a bunch of women that you hadn't met before this. Not many of us know each other. We might have seen each other at a prior event, but they're usually a new group of women every year that can, in minutes, loosen up and bond and start sharing these common issues and talking about your children and your families and just learning from each other. I think that is it's by design. Katy doesn't have to lead the entire evening or the entire day. She can sit back and observe as well and watch what happens in that dynamic, because we kind of just take the ball once it's thrown to us.
Great. So who would you say this event has been for?
Everybody. We've had 27 to 71 this year alone. I think every woman comes with something on their plate, whether that's a broken relationship, whether that's a work issue that they're working through. Maybe in my case, I'm learning management at 55 years old in my career. I never put in that position before, so I came looking for maybe some tidbits on how I can better that process, how I can listen better. Again, I said I was a talker. I'm learning to listen more and appreciating that. So this has helped me with that. Some women are just in transition. A good friend of mine is attending, and she had a recent breakup in a relationship. She's just looking for peace from that and learning how to rest. She's a go-getter, and she said, I'm kind of lost right now. I just need to just be. And with other women with similar emotional experiences or situations, they can come alongside her and just love on her. And that's just a place where you can let your hair down, be relaxed. It's a safe environment, so it's for everyone. There's something for everyone. I had a lot of financial issues, and I was looking to it was going to make or break me, I'm a woman of faith, and so I got on my knees and I prayed, Lord, I know that this world is temporary, and if there is a place I need to be, if there is a value to this that I'm not seeing, could you reveal that to me? And I think that's what women need to start with. It's not always about the physical financial dollar that you're spending. It's about what are you investing in that will make a return on your investment later. You may not see it right away. It may feel difficult to let go of the cash value, but what you're getting in that is an investment in a direction, in a purpose, in a plan for your life that will make that money back exponentially down the road. So you're going to learn wisdom on how to, how to plan better in this case, how to value yourself as a female in this man's world, how to answer the tough questions in your career, how to model what a positive woman can look like to a family, a wife, a mother. How do you put a value on motherhood? How do you put a value on being a Proverbs 31 woman, for your husband? How do you not spend that money? How do you not take care of yourself? Feeding the soul, it all goes back to, if mama's not happy, no one's happy, right? So investing in it now can reap the benefits and the rewards in years to come. And women here, once you've come once, it's a lot easier to want to come again. And I'm telling you, women return year after year because they figured that out. They figured out that investment is in your time and your effort, and giving up a little bit of money now is going to be exponentially rewarding in the end. So you're gonna pay it forward basically in that respect to not only yourself but to others.
Great. Why is Chico Hot Springs so beautiful?
Oh gosh, yeah, I love Chico Hot Springs. This place has its own energy. It's like a time capsule in a way. When I pull up and start down the canyon into Chico, there is this awe that happens. You're surrounded by these snow-peaked mountains. We're in October, late October. You're seeing the skiff of the higher elevations. You've got that white crystallized look on the tips against the bright blue big sky of Montana. You have the wheat fields that are lining the hills as you come in. And then you break into this little teeny, almost like something out of the 50s or 40s or 50s, Somebody mentioned today it reminded them of Dirty Dancing, if you've ever seen that movie, right? So you have this, baby. There are these cabins up on the hill looking over there's a main lodge with a wonderful fireplace, that atmosphere is just, the mood is set the minute you check in. The staff here is amazing. They have our rooms set up, the audio in place, the video in place. They have the tables with linens on them. It's still cozy, but it's still business. And so you have that wonderful juxtaposition of the beauty of the place, location meets what do I have in store this weekend? What are those tidbits that I want to pick up? And you get that excitement going. And then the women start arriving. And you really feel the energy rise, some of them have been here before, they come back and back, and others it's their first time. And that awe of watching their faces and when they walk up and just go, this is beautiful. We're in Prairie, Montana, in Paradise Valley. How much more unique does that get, right? So I love it.
What about the actual hot springs? Tell me about what it's like.
Yes,
to soak.
Sure. So the soak it's great. I love the fact, and I'm kind of a cleanliness thing, so I love the fact that the hot springs is natural. It is drained every night, and they refill the tubs, the pools, the next day. What I really appreciate is there's a vibe out there that is just relaxing. People are hanging out. You can take some beverage if you want out there in a paper cup and just relax. Your time is your thing, and you climb in, and that mineral water just is so soothing. It washes over you. You walk out halfway. It's all about chest deep, so it's nice. You can't drown unless you're really busy, not paying attention. But it's fun. Everyone just kind of enjoys themselves, relaxes. There's places to sit for everybody around the edges. You can talk and chat. Every time I've been here, I guarantee you somebody will ask, what are all these women doing in the middle of the hot springs on a Saturday afternoon? And we love to say, it's a women's retreat. And they are like, wow, what kind of women's retreat? What's it about? And we're like, spiritual women getting together, just sharing in each other's experiences and learning together. And ironically, men ask that question more than women. So it really fosters community, I would say.
Right. Yeah, is there anything else you want to add?
I think I would just encourage every woman who's sitting on that fence, not sure where they want to move next in life. If you can link up with Katy Huff Ministries, Katy herself is a gem. And she will give and give and give some more. She coaches, she teaches, she comes alongside of you. She's empathetic with your situations. She's been there most times, and she's willing to open up and share that with you. And I just am so encouraged by that. And I love the fact that I'm also her neighbor. And I appreciate the extra level of connectivity that I have with her personally. So I can say honestly from the bottom of my heart, what you see is what you get with her. She's real to the bone.